What is this? The two threads began to merge as Scatty watched. A hand was channeling immense power. It was Eugin, collapsed on the ground. With his eyes closed, he gently directed his magic. Brilliant wings of light radiated from him, leaving Scatty breathless. Odys immediately noticed the change. The tear of Fivia was stabilizing. He could barely overload it, yet this boy was controlling it on the very brink of explosion. He was in shock, trying to reassure himself. No, it's not the boy controlling it. Felon and 12 heavenly disciples are interfering through this child. I must inform the House of Oracles that I witnessed this with my own eyes. And with that, Odys activated a massive black hole. I am sending it now. Scandi herself was caught in its pull. She was being drawn into the vortex. Baffled by his suicidal move, her gaze shifted to Eugin. No, more importantly, Eugin, who in the world are you? Eugin's eyes snapped open, filled with both terror and rage. He sat up, screaming and clutching his head, stunning Tai A. A weapon appeared in his hand as he roared, "I will kill you." Tai quickly rushed to embrace him. "Young master, please calm down. Everything is all right now." With tears in his eyes, he looked at his friend and whispered, "Tai A." Trembling, Tai A held him tighter. "It's okay. It's all over now." They clung to each other and wept. Suddenly, a loud shout made them both jump in surprise. "My son, Eugin." Scandi flung the door open. "You're awake." She glared, a faint smile on her lips. "Since you are awake, shouldn't you report to your mother?" Tai A's face went pale, his jaw hanging open, but Eugin just called out happily, "Mother!" She extended a hand with a warm smile and said, "Come here." He frantically grabbed his hair, screaming, "Young master, that's the old landing strip!" Tai shrieked, "Young master!" as Eugin leaped into Scatty's chest. His eyes widened in horror as he threw up his hands and yelled, "No!" "Young master, you've been bedridden for a whole week. You must get some rest." The two shared a warm, smiling embrace. His mother lovingly chided, "You almost lost an arm. My, since when did you get so big?" Yin trembled. "Mother, I'm sorry. It's all my fault. Big brother Hindo, he tried to protect me. And now he's gone." Scandi gently soothed him. "Your brother isn't gone." In disbelief, he asked, "What?" Hindo noticed his stare, smirking faintly. "It seems our roles have been reversed now." Jean's eyes welled up with relieved tears. His older brother was safe. Luckily, the spear missed his heart. Scatty playfully murmured,
What are you doing? Trying to worsen his injury with that hug?
It looks like the spear is actually stopping the bleeding. His mother laughed. Such terrible skill. Not only did it miss the heart, it's actually helping him. But Yin muttered in a low voice, "Right," as if he were a surgeon. After all, the attacked fortress was already being partially restored, thanks to the swift efforts of the guards. The damage was minimized, also because the Eternal Law's true target had always been the Guardian Stone. Unfortunately, I heard the Guardian Stone shattered right as I collapsed. A fanatic's voice roared, "The explosion will be legendary. Folivia will vanish without a trace." Still, we were fortunate. We prevented the worst-case scenario, the stone's detonation. But it's a pity Fivia's Guardian Stone was destroyed. Scatty asked with deep concern. You don't remember what happened? Eugin answered, confused. What? But that's not the real problem here. The true strength protecting Folivia from the abyss isn't some stone. It's the brave warriors fighting on the front lines.
The Western Front, where thousands of monsters attacked, achieved a historic victory with minimal losses, thanks to your brother's timely support.
We can at least say that the number of casualties was reduced. But no matter how small, war always claims its price. That day, Folivia lost 21 noble members of the clan council and hundreds of its bravest warriors. Rob bowed his head, crying silently. He gritted his teeth, whispering, "Those bastards from the Eternal Law. They killed my grandfather." Eugin, I'm going to get stronger. Stronger than you. I'll make sure Folivia never suffers this humiliation again.
Hearing this, Yin's lips curled into a cold smile. So will I. I will become even stronger.
Strong enough to make the Eternal Law pay for their crimes. But do you really think you can become stronger than me? Rob clenched his fist in irritation. You're just a little ahead of me. I'll catch up soon. Don't be so arrogant just because you got into the Magic Academy. Yin glanced down at his own fist and let out a scoff. The Magic Academy. I'm not going to the Magic Academy. His expression turned resolute. I will stay behind and protect Fivia. The two of them froze at his declaration, asking in unison, "What?" The scene shifts to a place lined with ancient traditional houses. Inside a quiet room, Yin bowed his head. After all the effort you put into teaching me, I am truly sorry, teacher. I think I'm finally beginning to understand what responsibility means. People must do things they don't want to in order to protect what is precious to them, right? But I realize now that I was too selfish. He continued in a low voice. I was born a noble, with heavy duties, yet I only wanted to do as I pleased. Her expression darkened as she prepared to respond.
But suddenly, a grim voice cut in. "Are you saying all of this for my benefit?" Ying flinched, startled by the presence right behind him.
His mother, Skady, pinched his cheek teasingly. "You whine just like your father. Now stop bothering your teacher. Come with me. Let's get some fresh air." Sunlight bathed the peak of the mountain where they stood. Skady turned to her son with a cheerful smile.
"Look at that. Isn't it beautiful?" Yin stepped forward hesitantly. "Yes, but what did you want to talk about?"
"Why did you bring me all the way out here?" Her expression grew serious. "It's about you giving up the Magic Academy. Is this about revenge?"
Hearing that, Yin looked flustered for a moment, before his gaze hardened. "Yes, of course, I have to get revenge. One day, I will make him pay."
She put her hands on her hips, looking at him calmly. "Is that so? To me, it seems your heart is filled more with confusion than a desire for vengeance."
"You're wondering why Daya didn't kill your brother? Why he spared him like that?"
Instantly, Yin's head snapped up in shock. That's exactly it. He let my brother live, didn't he?" She crossed her arms, her voice analytical. To think it was a mere coincidence would be comforting, but that's highly improbable. Yin stammered timidly. "Then why would he—" Suddenly her expression shifted, her eyes narrowing. "You seem very curious," he answered, confused. "Yes?" She gritted her teeth, glaring at him with fury. "He slaughtered dozens of your own relatives. And because of him, hundreds of our warriors are dead." A cold chill shot through Yin's entire body. She struck him as she yelled. "And you're more obsessed with the fact he spared your brother? You claim you want revenge, but instead of fanning those flames, you're busy looking for a reason to forgive him." If Dia were to tell you some sob story, are you ready to forgive him? With that kind of thinking, do you believe you can get revenge? I'll fix that pathetic attitude of yours. Yin looked down, wiping his cheek as he muttered, "Why? Is it wrong for me to wonder?" He glared at Skady, his voice full of resentment. "Mother, you always just do as you please?" "My father was frail, so he spent half a year recovering in the capital." He clenched his fists, his voice cracking. "My brother and uncle feel more like parents than you do. Is it not natural for me to wonder about them?" Suddenly, Skady grabbed his shoulders, her voice cheerful. "That's it. Just like that. Be honest with yourself. Don't force yourself down a path of vengeance you don't truly desire. Stop worrying about what others think." You were miraculously granted a second life. Will you waste it worrying about the opinions of others? Do what you truly want.
Yin contemplated her words. What I truly want to do. His expression then grew distant as he mumbled.
But what I want is magic. When Folivia is under attack, how can I enjoy magic all by myself?
Hearing Scandy's words, just Folivia, left him utterly stunned. She smiled gently and continued, If you want to be a mage like the great felon, you must look beyond Folivia. Yin stared back at her and asked timidly, What?
How did you know my dream? She replied with a wicked smirk. Your brother told me, of course.
That boy gave me a whole speech about you when I asked about your dream. Embarrassed, he covered his ears and shouted,
Again? He only told you, right? He didn't go around town telling everyone, did he?
Scandy raised an eyebrow with a puzzling smile. Why are you so shy? To have such a dream as a mage? He frantically shook his head and groaned. No, it's not that. It's just my brother, as always. Scatty immediately wrapped an arm around her son's shoulders to comfort him.
Don't worry. You aren't the only fool in Folivia with such an outrageous dream. The first fool of Folivia wasn't so bad at being foolish either.
Eugin asked, confused, Father, when I was known as Scaphason, I wielded my sword with pure rage and fighting spirit. In the fields where I was clearly talented, by age 22, I had no rivals left in the land of warriors. During those times, a handsome man, sheathing his sword with a charming smile, would ask, May I have this dance, my lady? That was Folivia, your 22-year-old father, making his appearance.
Scatty let out a faint laugh, her voice low. He looked so pathetic. Hearing those words, Yin asked in total shock, What?
She remembered El's doting smile and his gentle voice that always teased her. Even when he made her so angry that she would start a fight with him. I thought I had no equal, but the idea that a fool who knew nothing of real violence could stand beside me, it was an unbearable thought. Scatty slammed her fist on a rock and cursed. Damn it, I couldn't stand it. The humiliation made her tremble with rage. How could a fool like that compare to me? Soon after, I discovered why he had come to Mount Nazca. Everything that foolish man said. Scandy saw El, drenched in the slime of monsters. He was sincere, the heir to the noble Folivia family, had defied all opposition. He looked at her with love in his eyes, calling out, My lady. He was genuine about his dream for peace. That man. Scady reached out her hand and whispered, Everything was meant to be strong enough to end the war. He spoke in a sad, low voice. I'm sorry, my lady. Please forget what I said that drunken night. Look at what I've become.
Scandi suddenly cut him off. Silence. A warrior shouldn't speak such nonsense. Elle looked at her, confused. My lady.
She glanced at the approaching dawn and stated calmly, Folivia is a land of endless enemies, a place someone wants me to live in. Not a bad start for my second life.
So I took him for myself. I kidnapped that man before anyone else realized his true worth.
Every time I see your emerald eyes, I remember that day, that moment. You are like your father, not me. You are too soft-hearted to live my way. Don't burn yourself out with anger like me. Chase your dreams without a doubt, just like that fool. Yin bit his lip so I wouldn't cry. Scatty once again hugged his shoulders. Seeing my man fall to reality once was already more than I could bear.
With a determined look on his swollen cheek, he declared, Mother,
Just as the god Phelan saved me from my suffering, I will become someone who can help others. That will be my unshakable dream. Seeing her son so confident, Scatty said with pride, Yes, that's how it should be. Yin nodded in agreement. She glanced at her son, thinking, maybe I should have hit him a little softer. By then, the carriage was ready. Yin slowly boarded, his family waiting to see him off. He smiled faintly. Anea also poked her head out to look. The large carriage began to move. Yin sadly stuck his head out to wave one last time, his face filled with happiness and joy. From the carriage, he shouted, To the Magic Academy! Aya yelled back, worried and angry. Don't lean out like that. It's dangerous. With a serene expression, Hindo asked curiously, So why aren't you scolding me? Scatty crossed her arms, giving him a teasing look.
Are you curious too? He replied with a slight pause. Shouldn't I at least know the reason? You only said it was a guess. But coming this far, your uncle likely lacks the courage to face any more hatred. That is his pathetic nature.
I spared your uncle out of pity, and this is how he repays me. Truly, one shouldn't start things they can't finish. Hindo closed his eyes and sighed. No wonder you hid Yin. But don't you regret sending Yin away like this? You've barely seen him these past few days. Scandi looked down, her voice low. Staying in Falivia won't make him smile anymore. Not with the clan elders gone. Their inevitable power struggle would have led to a massacre. The one to silence it all would be the master of Fivia. Hindel's robes fluttered as he burst out in frustration. It sickens me to use the legacy of comrades we just fought beside.
Scandi's brow twitched as she pointed out with a smirk. To be a true noble, you need the guts to even backstab a king.
Not just comrades. You are only half like me. All right, then let me give you a reason to be ruthless. At the southern edge of horizon, I saw the barrier separating us from the abyss shatter. And the abyss stared back through the cracks. The experience made my own existence feel so trivial. It was my first time. She was admitting she was also afraid. Hearing that from his mother, Hindo asked in disbelief, "What?
What nonsense are you spouting?" She paused, then turned to him with a serious gaze. "I'm not joking."
Do you think I returned just to jest? Soon, a war with the Abyss will make the Northern War from 21 years ago seem like a skirmish.
The recent uprising among Abyss worshippers might not be unrelated. Hindo's face paled as he asked with dread, "Does Father know about this too?"
Scandi considered it, then explained. "About half. What I said is based on his calculations and what I saw at the southern rim." Inside the carriage, Eugin held a box. He asked with boyish curiosity, "What is this?"
Oh, the aide glanced at it, murmuring, "This was sent with Eugin, so when they meet in the capital, his father will know." Eugin hastily shook the box. "Hey, it makes a noise when I shake it."
The aide cried out in fear. "That is a gift from the madam to the count." The carriage rattled on, their voices echoing inside. "Really? Let me open it just once. Don't even dream of it."
Visions drenched in blood, and the venomous words from that day resurfaced in Yedia's memory.
"You pathetic creature. It should have been you that day instead of El. What a disgrace to the Fivia clan. You'd be better off dead." In that dark memory, a sudden light appeared, catching his attention. From that light, a small, adorable yin crawled towards Yedia. The moment he saw his uncle, Yin beamed with joy and called out his name. The boy's appearance moved Yedia so much that he began to weep. Back in reality, Yedia lay in the red pool, muttering, "The same dream. Even after getting my revenge, I can't escape the past. So, in the end, was it all meaningless?" Suddenly, his gaze shifted to the side as he spoke in a low tone. "But what's the matter with you?" Yedia called out coldly to Ian.
Whether out of a flicker of kindness or something else, Ian asked with concern, "Are you all right, Idia?" His tone remained detached. Yidia's voice was laced with cold sarcasm. "As you can see, did you seek me out just to ask how I am?" Ian ignored his foul mood and answered casually, "Of course not." He then mentioned the miracle the boy named Yin created, which an elder of Negron witnessed.
He had news to deliver to Yidia. The prophet has given his verdict. This news startled Yidia, who exclaimed, "What?" Ian continued his leisurely report. He said not to worry about it. After a moment of thought, Yidia agreed with the prophet's decision. "I think so too. He's just a child, after all." Suddenly, his expression turned menacing as he questioned with a growl. "But why are you personally delivering this message to me?" Ian seemed amused by his look and decided to tease him.
I thought you might be curious, since he is your beloved nephew, no?" Then he added explosively, "I do hope nothing bad happens to the boy."
Eugene's sweet words echoed in his mind. "I'm going to the Magic Academy, and then to the capital." He quickly zeroed in on the key point. The Magic Academy. He also remembered In's excitement about it. "So we can meet there any time." Without hesitation, Idia ordered his maid, "Contact Elicus in the capital."
The maid immediately obeyed, asking, "Understood, my lord. What message should I send?"
"Tell him to protect Eugin with the very life I gave him." Meanwhile, Ian caressed the orb in his hand, musing aloud. "Eugin Folivia seems to be quite cherished by the Farron." A sinister smile crept across his face as he spoke with certainty. "If the prophet says not to worry, then it won't affect the grand scheme of things." Despite his confidence, he remained wary of Yin. After all, there was no reason to leave a stone on the road just because it wasn't blocking his path. As he spoke, Iselin suddenly crushed the orb in his hand. Especially, he thought, if that stone is inside my own territory. He then issued an order to his subordinate. "I'm leaving this matter to you. Soha, eliminate him. Quietly."
Soha bowed respectfully. "I will carry out your will, Apostle Iselin." A cunning glint appeared in his eyes.
"I happen to know the perfect person for the job." The scene shifts to the Hebronia Kingdom, specifically to Kingdom Iaeus. Eugen's eyes sparkled with excitement, taking in all the sights. So this is Kingdo Iaeus. There's so much to see. Like a curious kitten, his head darted from one wonder to the next. "Amazing! Taya, look over there! Is that a cat?" His antics made Taya wish the ground would swallow him whole.
This is a bit much. But ignoring his subordinate's embarrassment, Yin joyfully sampled one street food after another, laughing heartily.
"Taya, you have to try this. They call it
A frozen lizard skewer. Hilarious, right?
Taya could only sigh in resignation. I understand you're excited, young master, he warned in a low voice, but it's dangerous to be so careless in the capital. With a look of pure innocence, Yin turned and asked, "Why?" Taya began to explain, his expression growing serious and wary. The capital is vast and crowded, and it's filled with dangerous individuals.
From what I know, it's crawling with arrogant royals and power-hungry nobles.
Not to mention the greedy merchants. I hear they're no better than common thieves. Beyond mere greed, you'll also find madmen and dangerous mages who do anything for their research.
And finally, there are those who operate from the shadows. This place is teeming with the criminal underworld.
Right in the middle of a bustling crowd, Taya had just declared King Do-Ias a city of crime.
Naturally, his loud declaration didn't go unnoticed, and it angered the locals. What's all this nonsense, you country bumpkin?
Oblivious, Taya continued his lecture. Acting like a tourist will get you robbed, even if you're on guard. Do you understand?
Yin listened, then replied calmly, with a hint of amusement. I understand, Taya. Your prejudice is quite severe.
His master's words made Taya jump. What? But he was still determined to get his warning across.
It may seem that way, but we must be careful. Unconcerned, Yin simply replied, "Is that so?"
Just then, a small voice interrupted their conversation. "Excuse me, sir."
A young beggar child approached them timidly. "I'm really hungry. Could you spare something?" The sight immediately tugged at Yin's heartstrings.
Oh, you poor thing. But Taya immediately shooed the child away. Go on, get out of here. Do you have any idea who this is?
Taya's harshness made Yin respond innocently. Why not? There's still another lizard skewer left. As Taya proudly began to boast about his master, he suddenly felt his luggage slipping away. He comes from the noble house of Folivia.
The young thief, pulling the bag, froze, stammering in shock. Folivia? His face was a mask of pure panic.
The other thief, Tamiya, was just as shocked, muttering the name under his breath.
It took a second for Taya to realize what was happening before he roared, "A pickpocket!" In the very next instant,
Taya was already shouting after the thief who'd grabbed their bag. "Hey, stop right there!" The pitiful beggar child took this chance to flee as well.
He even looked back to taunt them. Stupid country bumpkins. Only then did Taya realize they were working together. The kid continued to jeer as he ran. "Enjoy that lizard skewer all by yourself." The situation sent Taya into a frantic panic.
What do we do? The gift for the Count is in that bag. without a moment's hesitation.
Yin let out a short sigh. He took off after the thief, calling back to Taya, "I'll get it back." His master's sudden departure left Taya stunned. Huh? Shaking himself out of it, he quickly regained his senses and called after Eugin. In all the chaos, they failed to notice a pair of eyes watching them from the sidelines. No, you must register at the Magic Academy today, young master. But no matter how much Taya yelled, In was already gone. Let's just report this to the guards. Come back. The person watching them this whole time was none other than Soha. He observed their chaotic display with a critical eye. Meanwhile, Tamiya was running for his life, with Yin hot on his heels. Stop right there. The fact that Yin could easily keep pace terrified Tamiya. This is insane. The young thief pushed himself to his absolute limit to shake him. Yin was slightly surprised by the boy's speed. He's astonishingly fast. As Tamiya fled, he couldn't help but wonder, how is this country bumpkin keeping up with me through these alleys? He didn't get it. No matter how fast he ran, or how many turns he took, he just couldn't shake Yin off. Back with Eugin, his divine eyes were now fully active. In a true battle, he could feel their incredible power, his senses sharpened to a razor's edge. Beyond muscle movements and the vibrations of a bowstring, he saw through the young thief's clumsy attempts to lose him. I can see so much more now. He tried to confuse me by leaving false tracks, but his efforts were useless. To Eugin's eyes, every single trail was laid bare before him. The real path was as clear as crystal. Following the true trail led Eugin straight to an alley, where he finally cornered the boy. Tamiya. But the sight that greeted him there left him completely stunned. Tamiya's arm was being brutally twisted by someone, causing the boy to scream out in agony. My arm! The one gripping him so fiercely was a man named Sour. Upon seeing Eugin, he gave a casual greeting. Hello there. He ruthlessly lifted Tamiya and asked, This is the one you were chasing, isn't he? Eugin. Folivia. Before Sower could warn Eugin about the capital's dangers, Eugin had already struck his hand away from the child. It seems this is your first time in the capital. It's filled with scum like him. Be careful. Eugin's face was dark with fury as he growled. What are you doing to a child? That attitude made Solar ask, Are you angry with me? Fearing a misunderstanding, Solar quickly tried to explain his good intentions.
I think you're mistaken. He's a thief, and I was just helping you. Of course, Eugin knew that. He was just disgusted by the man's brutality.
I know that, but there's no need to break the kid's arm. Sour merely scoffed at his words.
Huh. Ah, it seems you don't know what these people are really like.
Even if you break their legs, they'll never learn their lesson. As he spoke, he glanced over at the little thief, who took the chance to escape while they were talking.
Look at that, Sower began to mock. But just as he was about to make a sarcastic remark,
Eugin shoved him aside and snapped, "Silence."
Huh?
Seeing him move forward, Sover asked curiously, "You're going to chase him?" His persistence was baffling. Why would you do that?
Are you going to try and reason with him? Those words finally made Eugin grit his teeth in anger.
Are you trying to pick a fight? With an infuriatingly calm look, Sur stepped back. Ah. My apologies. I didn't mean to provoke you.
I'm just genuinely curious. Does the name Folivia make one see things differently?
If you find a peaceful solution, I'll gladly admit I was wrong. Seeing that Eugin was ignoring him, he continued to ramble on.
I should have introduced myself sooner. I am Sawyer Levon, the son of a humble merchant in the capital.
Seeing this sudden display of courtesy, Eugin finally turned back to him. Isn't it better to try docking first?
Better than breaking a child's arm. With that, he formally shook Sawyer's hand and introduced himself.
Eugin Folivia, youngest son of the Folivia family, though it seems you already knew. This act made Sour nod in approval. As expected.
Then he continued. Coming from a merchant family, we have access to all sorts of information.
Eugen's mind was racing. That wasn't just some random comment.
A question rose within him. Why would an apostle of the eternal law be interested in someone like him? To find the answer to that, he decided a little test wouldn't hurt. And so, Sor revealed to Eugin,
I also know where the thieves' hideout is. Eugin was startled by the revelation. Really?
Meanwhile, in a dark alley of the capital, a group of thugs were beating children for not bringing back enough money.
The boy trembled in a corner, feeling a wave of relief. Thank the heavens.
While the boy was busy lamenting his fate, he had no idea that Eugin and Soldier were watching everything unfold in the slums.
I won't get beaten today. Sawyer looked at Eugin, who was too shocked to speak, and asked in a low voice,
This isn't quite the right atmosphere for a calm discussion, is it?
Looking at Eugin's face, eyes wide with shock, Sawyer could only assume he had lost his mind. And truly, Eugin looked horrified. How can this be happening? It seemed this reaction was within Sawyer's expectations.
Indeed, facing this reality, this was the only possible outcome. He judged Eugin internally. Raised under the protection of the Falivia name, he can only play the hero naively.
His eyes were fixed on Eugin, as if expecting something more, yet knowing everything. What was I even expecting? That he'd offer some kind words and then simply walk away?
After a long silence, Sawyer spoke in a softer tone. We should go back. Nothing good can come from getting involved with this kind of filth.
Everyone knows the thugs in this alley are connected to the abyss. His words made Eugin question him with disbelief. The abyss?
But his friend insisted the stolen item could be left to the guards, asking, Aren't you enrolling in the Magic Academy today?
Hearing this, Yin stammered in realization. Ah, magic. Then he began muttering to himself, as if in a trance. That's right. I need to enroll in the Magic Academy because I must become a mage. His voice was low and resolute.
And I want to become a mage because I was saved by the god Felon. He suddenly shot to his feet, his loud cry startling Sawyer.
I want to become someone who can save others, too.
At that moment, Yin finally noticed Sawyer and turned to him sincerely. Thank you for guiding me here. I can handle it now, so you should go back. He gently urged Sawyer to leave, his voice filled with concern. If you stay here, you could be in danger too.
His words and actions made Sawyer shout in disbelief. What? His eyes filled with absolute terror. Are you really going to fight them?
He couldn't believe Yin would protect people he didn't even know, for kids he had never met before.
Back with the poor children, still taking a beating. You damn brat. I ought to feed you to the dogs. Before the thug could strike again, Yin launched a swift kick to his groin and shouted, Or perhaps I'll just hand you over to the guards. His arrival stunned the thugs and children into silence.
A moment later, whispers erupted. What's this? Who is this guy? Yin then projected an air of authority as he commanded the hooligans.
If you repent right now and promise never to harm these children again, I will let you go. His every word left them utterly bewildered.
Oh, and my pouch, too. Return it. At that moment, the thug Yin had kicked roared. You idiots! What are you waiting for?
He ordered his underlings to seize him. Suddenly, grabbing a whole bucket of water, Yin swung it hard, drenching the thugs while yelling, "I knew it!"
Soaked to the bone, the gang panicked as they realized it was magic. In that instant, one of them lunged for a sneak attack.
"You little punk!" Of course, Yin saw it coming and dodged with ease. What's more, he gifted the man a solid punch right to the face.
His incredible skill left the children staring, their eyes wide with admiration.
After handling the riffraff, he turned to check on the kids. "Are you all okay?" He did his best to calm them down. "Don't be afraid." Just as he was about to deliver the heroic line, "I will protect you," he heard the shameless thugs using a child as a human shield.
What the hell do you brats think you're doing? Your family is being attacked, and you just stand there watching.
You can just stand still, you ungrateful orphans. The scene made Yin freeze. I'm sorry.
The pitiful child's pleas for mercy rang in his ears. Please, spare our lives.
The brutal sight sent his mind into turmoil. Why would they go this far?
Meanwhile, Cher observed everything from above, reevaluating Yin. If simply defeating bad guys solved everything, what problems would the world even have?
You're not just a young master with a big mouth. I have to admit that.
However, he still saw a critical flaw. But in the end, you possess nothing more than a little courage. As he muttered to himself, his eyes caught something new. You're nothing special at all.
Down below, a thug roared at the children hiding behind Yin. You kids hiding back there. What are you doing? He actually commanded the frail, bony children to subdue Yin. If you don't want to die, take him down.
As the big oaf was busy screaming at the kids, a mysterious figure emerged from the shadows. Do you think he'll be here forever?
Anyone who hesitates now will surely be beaten later, just as the thug finished his infuriating threat. He was suddenly sent flying by a slap from the mysterious newcomer. The figure then spoke in a deep, slow voice.
What brings you here? The person's appearance left Yin utterly shocked.
This towering man, with the form of a monster, spoke deliberately. A person of such noble status. Whatever this being was saying, Yin could only feel his immense power.
The creature then respectfully asked him,
has come to this filthy place again.
It seemed the local thugs knew this mysterious man, and they were furious at being struck. "Lord Joseph, why did you suddenly attack us?"
The one called Lord Joseph, enraged by the question, struck the man down and growled with chilling fury. "Silence, you pathetic worms. Have you lost all sense, beating on children?" He cursed them, striking without mercy as Yin watched.
When you see someone of high standing, you either get beaten like a dog, or you wag your tail like one. When you see them. After teaching the worthless rabble their lesson, Joseph's voice softened as he turned to Han Eugin. He was uneducated.
"Pardon me, my lord, but may I ask, what brings you to this wretched place?"
Though wary of the old man, Eugin answered truthfully. "I was searching for a stolen item, but then I saw those children being brutally beaten."
His words made Joseph flush with shame. The behavior of those thugs must have shocked you, my lord.
"Those worthless dogs. I will discipline them myself, and I'll find your item immediately." Suddenly, the old man cried out, "Ah, yes, my lord. May I have your name? I swear this will never happen again."
Without a hint of fear, Eugin stepped before Joseph and proudly introduced himself.
Eugin Folivia, youngest son of House Folivia. I am staying in the capital from now on, so I suggest you act wisely.
Upon hearing that legendary name, Joseph's face filled with shock. "Folivia?" he stammered, before asking again. "If you are the youngest of House Folivia, then you must have that incurable disease." Eugin confirmed it, wondering how the man knew of him.
That's right. But how did you know? Am I that famous? Why does everyone seem to know?
All at once, the old man became ecstatic, showering praise upon Eugin's uncle.
Of course we know. You are the cherished nephew of Lord Ildia. There isn't a soul here who hasn't been blessed by his generosity.
Then he revealed a bombshell that made Eugin's eyes widen. "Lord Yiddia himself ordered me to protect you, young master."
Eugin couldn't help but shout, "What? Is that true?" Meanwhile, Exer, seeing Eugin's new protector, let out a frustrated sigh.
All because of my pointless curiosity. A murderous glint flashed in his eyes. I just lost the easiest chance to kill Eugin Folivia. As soon as he heard Joseph knew his uncle, Eugin eagerly pressed forward.
"You know my uncle? Then can I meet him?" Seeing his excitement, Joseph gave a reassuring smile. "Please, calm yourself."
A crafty look crossed the old man's face as he chuckled. "It seems you have quite a few questions."
This conversation may take a while. Shall we go for tea? Eugin was about to speak, but then hesitated.
That's fine. I have time today. Time? That word seemed to jolt his memory, making him jump.
That's right. It had completely slipped his mind that he needed to enroll. I have to register at the Magic Academy today.
A short while later, at the academy, Eugin calmly spoke to someone under Taya's watchful gaze.
I'm sorry. I'm busy today. It seems we must part ways before we can even talk. He was gently treating Tamiya's wounds as he spoke.
If those adults bully you again, you run straight here. I'll give them a piece of my mind for you.
You're fast, so you can do it, right? The boy, flustered by his kindness, simply nodded. Yes. After a moment, Tamiya's arm was stable. There. Luckily it's not broken, so a bandage will do.
Suddenly, tears welled into Mia's eyes. Why are you doing this? He asked. I tried to steal from you.
Eugin replied with deep empathy. I don't think you're a bad person. You're just afraid of adults, right?
He pulled Tamiya into a hug and declared, I will protect you from them. What matters now is what you do from this day forward. Understand?
Deeply moved, Tamiya agreed. Yes. The scene unfolding before him left Taya completely bewildered.
What on earth happened after you went to catch him? He asked, before adding a helpful reminder. Shouldn't you be registering?
Young master, the exam is tomorrow, yet you seem quite relaxed. His words finally snapped Eugin back to reality with a shout.
That's right. And so, on the day of the entrance exam at the Seria Magic Academy, the grounds were teeming with aspiring mages.
Eugin observed the massive crowd, marveling. There are so many people.
The kingdom has so many mages. Just then, Zhe appeared out of nowhere to explain. They're not just from the kingdom.
These mages are from the Empire, the Southern Islands, and even the distant Eastern lands.